be it today for the day. So Taylor, give us
All
the
right.
summary of what you got.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. So as requested in the previous EMC meeting, I'm here to give an update on EPA's no action assurance for air curtain incinerators as it relates to Title V air quality permit requirements. I intend to give a quick recap of what's been already done, an update on new information as it relates to the no action assurance and ACIs, and a separate update on new information as it relates to Tiger Cat's carbonizer and other biochar producing units. So on October 24th of 2024, DAQ requested regulatory relief from EPA regarding the use of ACIs in North Carolina to safely and efficiently handle disaster debris from Hurricane Helene. On November 6th, EPA responded with a letter that addressed some of these requests. On November 15th, DAQ requested the no action assurance letter from EPA to allow ACIs processing greater than or equal to 35 tons per day of only wood waste, clean lumber, and yard waste to be exempt from the obligation to obtain a Title V operating permit, provided that those ACIs are not otherwise required to obtain a Title V operating permit. The ACIs operating under the no action assurance are still expected to comply with the opacity, record keeping, and reporting requirements of 40 CFR Part 60, subparts Quad C or CCC and Quad D. EPA provided DAQ with the no action assurance letter on November 22nd. That was effective through March 1st of 2025. On February 28th, DAQ requested an extension of the no action assurance from EPA, and EPA granted this extension on March 12th, and the no action assurance letter is currently effective through September 1st of this year. So as Director Abrazinskis mentioned in the last meeting and occurring prior to Hurricane Helene, DAQ instituted a general Title V permit for ACIs greater than or equal to 35 tons per day. An application for this general Title V permit can be submitted completely electronically through the Access DEQ permit portal. This online application process was made publicly available on July 30th of 2024. It makes the application process simpler and quicker for owner-operators to submit to DAQ, and it streamlines the processing by DAQ's permit engineers. Complete applications submitted through this online tool can lead to permits being issued in a very short time, some in a matter of a few weeks. The application and annual fees for this general ACI Title V permit are 10% of the normal Title V fees. Again, this is not currently required due to the no action assurance that is effective through September 1st. But several ACI owner-operators are already voluntarily going through this application process to get their general ACI Title V permit at this time. This is because they may want to continue to process wood waste, clean lumber, and yard waste in their ACI even beyond this disaster debris gathered from Hurricane Helene. Sorry, taking a breath. I'm trying to read quickly and I'm not doing a good job.
Take your time.
So
Get the heart of the matter out there.
I know, and I feel like there's a lot to say.
We've already eaten lunch, so
I know. As we see this, so for example, we're seeing this at locations where yard waste and tree trimmings are routinely collected, even outside of disaster events. So here's some new information as it relates to the no action assurance for ACIs. On April 30th to May 2nd, I attended the Association of Air Pollution Control Agencies spring meeting. At this meeting, I spoke with Aaron Szabo, EPA's nominated Assistant Administrator of the Office of Air and Radiation, about the need for streamlined rulemaking and existing rule reform as it relates to ACIs that combust only wood waste, clean lumber, and yard waste. This request is supported by the Clean Air Act Section 129 definition of a solid waste incineration unit. My conversation was supported by a colleague from Florida's Department of Environmental Protection. On June 3rd through 5th, Director Abrazinskis and I attended the Southeastern Air Pollution Control Agency spring meeting, along with colleagues from EPA Region 4 Air and Radiation Division, ARD, and Enforcement and Compliance Assurance Division, ECAD. At this meeting, I presented on the topic of Hurricane Helene recovery activities, including ACI and carbonizer use in Western North Carolina. I advocated again about the need for streamlined rulemaking and existing rule reform for ACI's combusting only clean wood waste. This presentation was also repeated in the Air and Waste Management Association's annual conference and exhibition in Raleigh that was on June 9th through 12th. On July 1st, Director Abrazenskis and I had a meeting with our EPA Region 4 ECAD staff to discuss a potential request by DAQ to extend the no action assurance beyond September 1st. EPA Region 4 ECAD staff are reviewing this request with headquarters, specifically the Office of Enforcement and Compliance Assurance, or OECA. We are awaiting their guidance, but have indicated we are prepared to submit another no action assurance request before September 1st. I also have knowledge from my various discussions with EPA colleagues over the last several months that there is EPA rulemaking underway that may more completely address my concerns for streamlined rulemaking and existing rule reform for ACI's combusting clean wood waste. While details and timelines are not public information at this time, I have been told to keep an eye out for future announcements. And furthermore, EPA Region 4 ARD staff are committed to sending me any new information as soon as it is made public. There have also been some new developments that relate specifically to Tiger Cat's carbonizer and other similar units that are used to create biochar products. So on May 28th of this year, several DAQ staff met to discuss the Tiger Cat carbonizer and to compare knowledge about the similarities and differences for ACIs and carbonizers, the existing federal rules for ACIs and how they potentially could apply to carbonizers, and the applicability of Title V permitting. We came up with a potential list of options to present Tiger Cat relating to federal rule applicability and permitting of these units. So then on June 23rd, DAQ staff and our legal counsel met with a representative from Tiger Cat and their legal counsel to discuss our findings and options as it relates to their carbonizer units. At this time, we believe Tiger Cat could either opt into a general Title V permit for ACIs or be evaluated for permitting based on potential to emit as any other emission source. We provided the pros and cons of each of these options. So that same day, unknown to us at the time, EPA's Office of Resource Conservation and Recovery issued a letter to Tiger Cat's legal counsel in response to their request for a non-hazardous secondary material, or NHSM, determination for wood waste, yard waste, and clean lumber processed into biochar. This letter states, as long as the equipment used to produce a biochar product is only processing clean cellulosic biomass as defined in 40 CFR 241.2, the feedstock would not be considered a solid waste or secondary material for the purposes of the Clean Air Act. And therefore, the processing equipment would not be subject to Clean Air Act Section 129 standards, including Title V permitting. However, it goes on to state that if equipment were not producing a biochar product, the feedstock would be considered a solid waste, and the equipment may be regulated as an air curtain incinerator under the Clean Air Act. This letter to Tiger Cat was circulated by EPA Region 4 with DAQ the next day on June 24th. So with this new information, DAQ believes Tiger Cat carbonizers used to produce a biochar product no longer have the option of being considered an ACI for purposes of general Title V permitting. Also, because EPA's no action assurance was granted specifically for ACIs processing greater than or equal to 35 tons per day of clean wood waste, we believe it no longer applies to the Tiger Cat carbonizers producing biochar. Therefore, these units will need to be evaluated for permitting based on potential to emit as any other emission source. On July 2nd, DAQ asked Tiger Cat's legal counsel for follow-up on any source-specific emission factors or stack test results that they had discussed with us in the prior meeting. So this was submitted just this Monday on July 7th, and we're reviewing what was provided. So I can now answer any questions.
Questions for Ms. Hartsfield?
No questions, but thanks for doing that. I knew that Tiger Cat had reached out to you and that they had information from other states and what they'd use, but the argument to me was always, we're not burning carbon. We're trying to protect and save as much as possible. So that's good. That's good news. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Taylor.
All right. Thank y'all.
Okay. Director Vinson, we'll start with you.
Good afternoon, Chairman Solomon, members of the commission. Toby Benson, Director of Demler. Keep it short and sweet. Dam safety program, we've just completed our stakeholder engagement on our 15A NCAC O2K dam safety rules. And we're currently using that information gained to develop proposed rules and amendments for you later next year. Regulatory impact analysis and physical analysis is scheduled to begin in September. I want to thank Bill Yarborough for being the member on that stakeholder group. We think we had a lot of really good conversations, got a few other things to come out of it, and it's going probably opens up a couple other conversations with a couple other groups too. So looking forward to that. One other thing that I hadn't originally noted, but just want to make sure I gave you guys a heads up on, was that our dam safety program following and as a result of Tropical Storm Chantal, resulted in about 10 dams that we're tracking right now in between Moore and Orange County that have had some issues, some significant damage. Had one high hazard dam fail in Moore County. No deaths from that, but we did have some swift water rescues required because of vehicles trying to go through the breach wave that created. So we're good there, but we're still continuing to monitor several dams. You might have seen Lake Michael Dam in the news in Mebane. Right now, everything's going well. Their engineer of record's been on site since the storm started, so that they are continuing to report progress in where they are with those. Outside of that, I'll move on to our stormwater program. Demler staff have been working with IT in developing our Access DEQ conversion from Laserfish for the MPDS construction stormwater application and compliance processes, and it went into activation at the end of May of this year. Our business unit and IT have begun work to further streamline the approval permit coverage process between sedimentation and erosion control and MPDS construction stormwater by combining these processes into a singular application process for applicants to receive both permitting actions as a result. Rollout for the combined process should be later this fall. So we're looking forward to that and be able to provide further reports to you on that as well as to the General Assembly. That's all I have prepared. Any questions?
Thank you. Question for Demler, Director Benson. Okay, seeing none, good report then. Good. Director Scott.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. A few updates for us this afternoon. On the Helene front, we have started deactivating temporary disaster debris sites. At the maximum amount, we had 160 of these temporary sites processing vegetative and other debris across western North Carolina. So we've started deactivating those as some of the debris management moves forward, but also certain aspects of it start to close out in some of the impacted counties. On the debris front, there was a session law to make the commission aware of, 2025-18, waives permits and requirements by DEQ, NCDA, Consumer Services, and local governments regarding activities to process tree stumps and other vegetative material into mulch, compost, or soil amendments through 2027. So as we look at the next phase after these initial disaster debris sites are closed out that I initially referenced, this session law then speaks to the continued processing of material in western North Carolina. And like I said, that session law 2025-18. On the rule review front, rule updates from the Rules Review Commission, they did set the readoption deadline for our dry cleaning rules in the Division of Waste Management for August 1st, 2027. Just wanted to share that with you. Continued on the General Assembly front, just to mention a couple of bills of significance from our division's perspective. There was recent brownfields legislation. It's under Senate Bill 387, basically adding language on what particular property improvements are exempted on brownfield properties, when they're exempted based on coming into the program and actually receiving a brownfields agreement, and some different fee changes in that particular legislation as well. We also have been working on the scrap tire front in North Carolina. We generate almost 200,000 tons of scrap tires coming off of vehicles, farm tractors, road graders, everything in the state. This has been legislation a lot of the counties have really advocated for. It became a session law this year as well, returning additional funding from the scrap tire account to local governments, helping them with their cost overruns and processing the tires that come off of our vehicles, our tractors, our road graders, et cetera. So we're really excited about that session law and that money, additional funding, going back to the communities. On the PFAS front, we continue to work with landfill operators as we brief the Commission and Groundwater Committee on. In addition to a lot of that landfill data that we continue to evaluate, we are getting in Department of Defense PFAS data. North Carolina is a very heavy military state, and so we have data coming in, including Fort Bragg and other installations specifically related to groundwater detections of PFAS, and we'll keep the Commission informed on that front. And as I wrap up, definitely want to celebrate the Brownfields program. They reached a great milestone. Their 750th agreement was reached in North Carolina. Secretary Wilson celebrated this milestone with the group in Winston-Salem at the Brown School Lofts, which is a new apartment style housing complex in Winston-Salem near downtown. This particular program, meaning Brownfields, and their achievements with 750 completed agreements represent 15,000 acres in North Carolina and over 30 billion in private investment going into that program. So really excited for them and that milestone moving ahead. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That's awesome. Questions for Director Scott? Any? Thank you for the report. Thank you. Director Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I'll leave comments to the notes I have made. They are extensive, about 7 pages. But what we try to do is, again, update you on the Helene activities that are ongoing with the division. We still have about the same number of wastewater treatment plants that are still not under normal operations, but they are operating as the same with our drinking water facilities as well. One note, Chimney Rock has been a issue since the beginning. They now have a temporary wastewater treatment facility plant online. It is hooked up and they're waiting for electricity. So we hopefully in 2 weeks they'll have sewer running and at Chimney Rock. We also have update in there on the tropical storm Chantel. Several water systems in the middle part of the state, Piedmont area, have been impacted. They all are providing drinking water at this time. I think it's a great thing during the drought times of these interconnections between water systems that require them to provide drinking water for these systems that go down so that people can continue to receive that. So that is a good thing. I've got a list of the ratified legislation that we have seen from the division. Not only ratified, these pieces of legislation have also been signed by the governors recently, as yesterday, I believe. House Bill 694 deals with interbasin transfer. It combines several subbasins in the Neuse River Basin and also the Cape Fear. House Bill 850 is also an interbasin transfer bill directing the collaboratory to do a study of the interbasin process, which will be quite interesting to get their thoughts on that as well. And it also puts a moratorium on any IBTs to move forward that are greater than 15 million gallons a day. Senate Bill 472 also passed. That is dealing with our 401 certification process where we have nationwide permits. It is giving us some time frames to limit our review time. Around 30 days is what the goal is there. So we're working towards that end as well. Also, Senate Bill 472. I think they really liked the 401 certification process because they did it again in that bill. It's the same language, so no problem there. Also in the bill, there's also a prescribed permitting process for us related to upland basins or either upland marinas that are provided for on the coast. Those are the bills that we are working with right now. I also let's see, what else do I have here? One other note, I think first time since I've been here since 2023, we don't have any segment of the state in drought. So that's a good sign. I think surely we're out of drought given the amount of precipitation we've had over the past several weeks. So that is good news. I do want to just acknowledge and thank you on our BA for their work. We will continue to work with them. I think Forrest said it several times. This is a collaborative effort. We're trying to be partners in this, and we'll continue our efforts to work through the process and keep y'all duly informed as we move forward. Also, as always, just want to thank DWR staff across the board, always doing great work, working extremely hard. One specific individual I want to mention is John Heisman. For his work he did just recently on the Car Pam to get that turned around. It's a lot of moving parts on that. Appreciate Ellie working with us as well on that. So just give a good thanks to John for his hard work on that. Mr. Chairman, that's my report.
Yeah, and I didn't thank the previous two directors, but thank all four of you. These brief summaries are great for us, but putting them on the website for us and the public, it's really, really good. These are good summaries and really appreciate it. Questions for Director Rogers?
Thank you.
Wow. You put off a couple times yesterday. You sold remarks for tomorrow and they let you off easy today. Director Abrazinskis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, everyone. I was telling Taylor I was a little envious of her update because I've been attending these commission meetings since 2007. I've never received a round of applause for anything that I've said. So thank you, Commissioner Yarborough, for doing that during her update. So a couple of updates for me this afternoon. First off is on June 27th, our division launched a major update to our Air Information Reporter, or AIR tool, within our online air quality portal. This was developed in partnership with the State Climate Office and North Carolina State University, and that tool gives the public near real-time access to air quality data from our division's network of regulatory monitors across the state. So the latest update that we added here in June now includes data from a public network of PM 2.5 sensors to complement our regulatory data and fill spatial and temporal gaps in monitoring. There are a number of other improvements and new features, so I encourage you to check it out. The link is included in my written remarks. Next, I want to give a quick update on the SO2 sulfur dioxide secondary standards. So I mentioned previously EPA at the end of last year reviewed the secondary NOx, SO2, and PM National Ambient Air Quality Standards. And in that action, they retained the standards for NOx and PM, but they strengthened or revised the secondary SO2 standard to an annual standard of 10 parts per billion averaged over 3 years. That was changed from a 500 part per billion 3-hour average standard. So unlike the primary NACs, these secondary standards, or the primary NACs which focus on public health, the secondary standards provide protection for public welfare, such as protection of decreased visibility and damage to crops, vegetation, and buildings. So the state designation recommendations are due on this new secondary SO2 standard at the end of the year, and a preliminary review of our data shows we're not going to have any issues at all. We're complying with this new standard by a very wide margin, so it's very likely we'll be recommending attainment statewide for that new secondary standard at the end of the year. In committee yesterday, I gave a pretty lengthy presentation on the EPA deregulatory agenda. Of those 31 items, 27 of them are related to air quality. It's keeping us very busy and trying to just keep up with all that's going on there. And so in my written remarks, I just highlighted the first two proposals that have come from EPA from that list of things that they are reconsidering. And so you can refer to those in my remarks, but those proposals, comments are due on those proposals in early August. And then finally, the division is planning a celebration of the 10-year anniversary of North Carolina being designated attainment for all of the national ambient air quality standards. So that 10-year anniversary will be between now and your next meeting. It'll be on August 25th. So we're looking forward to that celebration.
Very good.
That's all for today, Mr. Chairman.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
And I'll reference Mike's presentation from yesterday too, in the air quality committee stuff, because you had your full presentation on those 27 items for you. And it was quite informative for anybody that missed it. So any questions for Director Abrazinskis? Great job.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, let's kind of go around the horn. I'm going to start on the right today. We'll start with the Ys today. So Mr. Yarborough, any comments today or?
I feel like I won the lottery. It's been a great 2 days. Yesterday I met with Sushma and John Nicholson and Michael there, and they told me that a general certification for permitting for stream bank stabilization is in the works. That is something that I've been looking at for decades. I think it's huge for soil and water and the other agencies that try to do this work during emergency. One of you mentioned about it would be very helpful if we could get a 5-year or something so that when it's an emergency, you extend it versus having to go to each month or two. So that's a great thing. The tiger cat thing, that is a huge deal too, because that was really problematic. We've got to figure out a way to do something with all this debris and the down timber. And I think this is an opportunity. So again, thank you. Toby worked on a project for over a year now with that, getting stabilization in creeks and being able to work with soil and water without the permit. Because we're all part of the state. I mean, when one does it, we should be able to do it. So I can appreciate what you do. That's probably more than you wanted, but I'm
No,
just
but I want to thank you and the staff, all the way to the top of the department for going out that extra mile during the hurricane. I know most people I'm looking at right now, or a lot of you went up there to see some of the stuff Bill talked about. And Bill, when he's not here giving his time, he's giving it to the county and the Soil Conservation Service. So it's just great to see. Like he said, there's a lot of disasters we don't learn from, but I think we're learning and taking a little bit out of this one. So it's everybody's hard work that's been part of the department and part of Bill's individual effort. So thank you for that. Commissioners, you new commissioner, Commissioner Wright. I'll call you Jared, but I'm gonna call you Commissioner Wright. Commissioner Wright, welcome to the show. What have you thought about the last day or two? Any comments today?
I just want to reiterate, I'm very grateful for the warm welcome from commissioners, you, Mr. Chairman, and directors and staff in the audience. It's been a great 2 days. Again, drinking from a fire hose is the analogy that I've used several times, and I still feel that way. And hopefully the game will slow down as we have more meetings, but I am grateful, so thank you.
Well, I think it does. Not here it is not.
Let him live the dream.
Yeah, let him live the dream.
Commissioner Weiss.
The Water Allocation Committee did meet yesterday, and we had our bi-monthly update on the 3 IBT requests that are in petitions that are in process right now. One of them will be affected by the ratification of the bill that contains a moratorium. But staff is well aware of that, and so we are keeping up with that. Thank you.
Mr. Smith.
So I handed out a copy of a section from the Senate budget bill that concerns creation of independent staff for the Environmental Management Commission. As I told the chair yesterday, since there'd been no discussion of this among commission members as a body, it felt like something people should know about. The Senate and House have not yet taken final votes on the state budget, but my understanding is that this provision appears in both the Senate version and the House version of the budget. So it's not in contest at the moment. And as I mentioned to the chair yesterday, I thought it would be helpful for the commission members to hear a little bit from him about what the origin of this was and the scope, the intent of this proposal.
Well, I don't want to be evasive, but again, one of the things like the IBT bills, I don't like to talk about legislation as it's battling around because a lot of legislation survives, a lot of legislation doesn't survive. So we'll see where this one goes with the budget bill. I think my biggest comment I would have to say is when you look at our enabling legislation, we talked about orientational responsibilities. I think there's 26 things. I always click 26. It stands out in my head that we're supposed to do as a commission, that we're directly in charge of doing. Some we delegate, some we don't. Most we don't, but we have to do it. And I think if they're going to give us money, I think that's just more money for environmental management and environmental regulation in North Carolina. So I don't think that's a bad thing. We've heard from staff that they're worried about federal money and some of the programs going away or people going away. I think anytime we can get money into the cause, I think that's a good thing. So I don't think there's probably appropriate to say much more. Let the legislators decide where they're going with the budget and what they're doing. And those talks are underway now. So I'll just leave it at that for now. So.
I just want to say, I hope people are being careful about representing any position on the part of this commission with respect to that provision, because clearly the commission itself hasn't even discussed it, much less taken a position on it.
Correct. Commissioner Reardon, congratulations to you too. Congratulations, Commissioner Wright, but congratulations to you too as well.
Yeah, thank you. No, I wasn't here for the committee meeting yesterday. I apologize for that. Life's a little complicated right now with a lot of changes nationally, but I do appreciate the nomination and the vote of confidence to participate as vice chair with you. Look forward to those additional duties and trying to meet those obligations in a way that represents the adequacy of this commission. So thank you.
Okay, good. Commissioner Gibson.
Yeah, I know it's difficult to discuss pending legislation, but I'm just wanted to ask for clarification on something. So would this legislation provide additional funding for the activities of the commission, or would it take it away? Because that's what I'm not clear about.
It would add more dedicated staff, the way it reads, to fulfill the mission of the commission. So that would be, it wouldn't take it away.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Well, I wanted to thank in particular the DEQ staff that support us and present all their great work here. Having spent a lot of time in other places around the world without really good regulatory programs, environmental regulatory programs, and the wonderful and dedicated staff to support them, I can really see the benefits here every time I come home, and I'm very grateful. So thanks for all that DEQ does to protect this absolutely beautiful state, keep the environment that we all love so much really healthy. And I know it's a really tough job. You're not adequately compensated, and somebody's always mad. And I can really appreciate how it feels for somebody to always be unhappy no matter what you do, because I'm head of a very large department with a lot of professors. And if you know nothing else about professors, they really love to express opinions. And I've got 62 of them with a lot of opinions.
And I
So
think about you,
anyway,
the last time we met, you were kind of getting out, and now you're just about to go back. So I know you've got all the egos and budgets and money. all the
So
time.
anyway, but thanks. And it's a real privilege to be on this commission. So thank you.
Commissioner King.
Report from yesterday's Water Quality Committee, just a quick report on 2 action items to the committee on the low flow. First of all, thanks, and I'm gonna speak for the committee, we appreciate the support of the 30-day waiver and unanimous. I really appreciate that, and the committee does. And also the moving it forward to public hearing with these revisions, minor, if there are. We just appreciate the work that staff has done through that, as I mentioned before, and getting that to the RIA to OSBM, getting OSBM approval in a matter of time that we could, really go over this. I just want to shout out to all that has taken place just to get it to this point on the low flow. The second part of the action yesterday was a motion on the floor to direct DWR to proceed with rule drafting to incorporate the proposed timeline requirements on 15A NCAC 02B dot 0295 and dot 0703 and investigate potentially shorter timelines to carve out an exception for engineered stormwater control measures. That was asked by Commissioner Deerhate. Absolutely, going back to committee. But we wanted to make it an action item yesterday. Commissioner Bumgarner did a great job. His intellect, knowledge. I think passion and knowledge can be dangerous without wisdom. And Tim Bumgarner's got a lot of wisdom when it comes to what he was talking about yesterday. So that went forward yesterday to come back before the committee. So that was our two action items. And one thing I've learned, just a real quick comment in the last 2 days, is that how important collaboration is. It's like I said, again, we're all passionate. We all do a great job, I think, and we're all here. None of us get paid for what we're doing. We don't. It's free, and we're doing it as a service to the state of North Carolina. But we also honor those staff members that work with us, that we have decisions to make. We have to look at waste, water, air. We have to do it all in rulemaking. That's our job. But we have to have help. And it's nothing wrong working out to the General Assembly and say we need help with money. There's nothing wrong with that. The federal government, yesterday we were told that we're going to lose somewhere around 190 positions possibly, is what DWR director said yesterday in our committee meeting yesterday. If we lose 180, 90 people, then because of grants, where there's money, go after it. If it's going to help our vision, if it's going to help what we do. And I think we're all committed, Mr. Chairman and committee members. I want to thank the House. I know we have a new member, Commissioner Wright, but it's indicated to me by the House if everything goes like it's planned, I guess I'm reappointed for another 4 years. I'm honored for that.
You are.
It's but it's an honor to be reappointed, and it's a life dream to serve people, and this is a great way to do that. So with that said, the collaboration part, the federal part, the EPA, we've had our connections in the past, but I've asked the department, hey, let's do a better job at carving a lane so we can get to those people who make those decisions, so we can be a part of that. Let's not let politics get in the way. It is what it is. Let's get to Region 4. Let's get a lane in where the department can talk with them. If there are meetings that we're having, let's attend the meetings. Let's go to the websites. Let's pull up this information. I can tell you this, Jared, is a lot of reading, is a lot of time. So with that, I just appreciate the time you give me, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you. Thank you. Commissioner Ellison, comments? Any?
No comments today.
Commissioner Deerhake, any comments today? Commissioner Carter, you got your last rule over the goalpost today,
Yeah, I
I
was going
guess.
to say, well, I don't really have a lot to report as far as the committee, because the main thing we did yesterday was the pre-permitting rules. I know there are some differing opinions on it, but it's in the general statutes, and I looked at it as something we needed to move along. I'm not going to try to predict where it's going to come out, how it's going to come out. Who knows at this point? But I will be watching to see. I'm going to be curious to see both that RRC and hopefully EPA will come around to a different position on that. And want to thank the staff. And I would commend, by the way, Director Abrazinski's points about the list that he presented yesterday. It is a lengthy list that EPA is working on. So, and that's on the agenda, the Air Quality Committee agenda for yesterday. So that's available if you want to take a look at it. I think I've already pulled it down. If I haven't, I'm going to get it because it's there's going to be a lot that's going to happen there. And I guess the main thing I want to do, I guess, is thank everybody that I worked with here. Really, for the most part, really enjoyed it. There are a few things that now and again, it's not the greatest, but no, this has been
They say the same thing about you sometimes.
I know, I understand that, but it's been a great experience. I've enjoyed it. I will miss it. And thank you for everybody's help and move things along here.
I
And
thanked you
particularly Mr.
yesterday.
Chairman.
I thanked you yesterday in Air Quality Committee, but you've been a great member. You've done your homework. You have subject matter knowledge in a lot of things, but in air especially. And I think your contributions can't be understated with what you've done for this commission over the last 12, 14 years, however long you've been here, but you've been here.
12, only 12, not 14.
Okay, 12 years, but you will be missed and you've been a good member. And thank you very much for just being there when we needed you. You always did your homework, and whenever any of us called you to do something, you did it. And it's much
Thank you,
appreciated.
appreciate
Commissioner Baumgartner.
Enjoy serving with you, Commissioner Carter, and you brought a lot to the table, and we appreciate it a lot. Just a quick summary on Groundwater and Waste Management Committee yesterday. We had an information item on the NC Solid Waste and Materials Management Plan. Very good discussion on that. An update from actually DWM and from Deeks. So that was a very good discussion. Other than that, I don't have any other comments.
Counselor, have we veered anywhere? Keep us back grounded. Are we doing everything right or anything to report?
I just want to say congratulations to Vice Chair Reardon, and welcome to Commissioner Wright. If there's anything you need, you already have my email address, so please don't hesitate to reach out.
Okay. I'm out of brief. I've thanked Commissioner Carter. I think I've congratulated Commissioner Wright, and I've congratulated Commissioner Reardon. The only other thing I'd add is it gets hot in the summer and we all get busy. And I do appreciate all that staff has done and the commissioners have done to get this agenda today together and even to modify it here as we came through the fourth week a little bit and tweak it. And that goes to council too, because she's been working probably as hard as any of the commissioners or staff has as well. So I think collectively we've done a good job as a group. And I think we've had a productive couple of days and got some good things done. So we'll see everybody back in September. Thank you, guys. Oh, we're